Good morning you guys, it's Karen and I'm here to tell you my favourite foundations. Now I need to do a big disclaimer at the beginning of this that this is not one of those videos where I will be time testing each foundation and watching it throughout the day and doing a full review in that respect. That's what I would love to do, and I have always intended to do that because I talked about this video a while ago and I know you guys were keen, but I just, for some reason, I'm not very good at doing foundation reviews. And I think it's because I'm not working in an office anymore, or not working in the hospital anymore. You know, when I was in the hospital, I would go in and I would be at my desk and off to meetings, and you know, I'd put my makeup on at 6 o'clock in the morning and it needed to be okay until 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, and possibly I'd have a look at my makeup at lunchtime and see what it was doing, and that was about it. Whereas when I'm at home, you know, I'm putting my makeup on probably about 7 o'clock in the morning, but I sometimes wash it off at like lunchtime, sometimes mid-afternoon, sometimes the evening, but I don't really pay attention to it. There's no reason to look in the mirror and see how it's doing, and it's just not something I remember to do. But I know you guys were interested, so I thought I would come and tell you which are still favourites, which are new favourites, which are possibles, and which are foundations that I'm just trying to use up and I don't really enjoy anymore. And so I can give you the price of these. I'm not sure if I'll put the ingredients on the screen. I was thinking about it and I don't know how many of you check the ingredients of foundations. It's not something I do. I probably should, because I'd prefer to avoid ones with fragrance in, but I don't mind too much as they're sort of sitting on top of my skincare, and there doesn't ever seem to be many with a huge amount of fragrance in. Anyway, let's get started. I've got 3 drugstore and 3 higher end ones. So I'll start with the drugstore one. And the first one I want to talk to you about is not actually a foundation. It's a BB cream, and it's the Garnier BB Cream. I'm just so surprised by this. So surprised. I went out and did a Garnier haul after they became cruelty free. Tresemme are also cruelty free now, by the way, which is just amazing, because you know that my favourite conditioner and shampoo were from Tresemme, and I've been trying for years to replace them, and now they're cruelty free. Anyway, I went and did a haul and I bought this BB cream, expecting it to be a sort of lighter coverage one, because I think I spoke about at the beginning of the year that I felt like this year I wanted to wear a bit more lighter foundation, or more of a BB cream, a CC cream. It actually hasn't turned out that way. The ones that I've tried I've not been that keen on, but this one I love. And this one is, I've got light and medium in this, and I have to say light is not very light. So if you have very light skin, I don't think this will be for you, you know, because that's the lightest that they do. So it comes in light, medium. I don't know whether there's a dark. I think it is just light and medium. But I just love this as a foundation. To me, it gives medium to full coverage. It's not really a BB cream. To me, a BB cream is much lighter, but it feels nice going on. It's really mattifying. And so again, if you've got very dry skin, you might not like it. It does. I do have to make sure that I've got a lot of, you know, my skin's well hydrated underneath this, but it just lasts. This is one that I did actually notice. You know, I remember looking in the mirror and going, wow, this is a BB cream, and it hasn't moved at all. You know, it still looks good at the end of the day. And so I really like this. I haven't used it as much because I have got a lot of foundations that I'm trying to use up, so kind of on an everyday basis, which I'll talk about at the end. But I feel like this would be one that I'd be happy to use as my kind of everyday foundation. My second drugstore one is from Kiko, and it's this Insta Moisture. So you can see probably I'm up to about there on that bottle, and I love this. And this is a great one again for, this is a great one for dry skin, whereas this Garnier BB one I would say is more for combination to oily skin. Yeah, this is the one for combination to oily skin. Sorry, I should have said on this one. I did try the normal one that's in kind of a bigger tube, and I didn't like that at all. It's definitely this one for oily combination skin that I like, but this one is great for dry skin. So let me do a little swatch so we can test everything side by side and see what the colour differences are like. I'm interested in that because I just feel like I'm not colourblind, but I feel like as far as makeup goes, I just always get the colours wrong, you know. The number of this is rubbed off. I think it might be 1.5 N. So that's the Kiko one there. So that's the BB one and that's the Kiko one. But there is one lighter than this. You can get a lighter colour. In fact, I think I might have even bought the lighter colour for days when I don't have a self-tan on. This one it is a struggle again with colours. You can get a lighter colour, so if you're really light, I think you'll be okay with that. But there isn't a huge range of colours, you know. I think there's, I don't know, I'll find out how many colours there are and maybe put it on the screen or something, but I don't think there's a huge range of colours in this. But this is just a lovely, you put it on and you feel like you're putting moisturiser on, but it does still give you medium coverage, medium to full coverage, which is, you know, what I like. So it doesn't look cakey, it doesn't, you know, sit in lines. I've not noticed, I have to say in the last few years, I've not noticed my nose to mouth lines as much as I used to. And I think it's probably because of weight, actually. You know, they always say you can choose between your face and your bum. So because I've put weight on, I think it's taken out my nose to mouth lines. But there are some foundations I noticed that do sort of make them more prominent, but this isn't one of them. This doesn't show up, you know, I can't see the lines when I use this foundation. And the final drugstore one is one that, again, I would be happy to use as an everyday foundation. But now that I found the Garnier one, that one's even less expensive than this. This is the No7 Hydraluminous Moisturising Foundation. My colour in this one, this is Cool Vanilla. This is the one that I use when I've got a tan. I've also got Calico. Calico is my kind of perfect colour really in the No7 foundations. I've used, I think, all of their foundations in Calico, all the ones that you can get in that colour anyway, but Cool Vanilla is just for when I've just put a self tan on. But I love this one. This is a moisturising foundation. It's another one that's, you know, it's hydraluminous, so it's a hydrating foundation and it feels hydrating putting it on. It's a bit less coverage than the Kiko one. I'd say this one is medium. So like I said, this one is more, feels more like an everyday foundation. I find No7 are too expensive, I have to say, and so they're not expensive if you make sure you wait until you get their deals. You know, if you are buying, if you're getting the 3 for 2 on makeup or the 3 for 2 on skincare, or you've got a £10 voucher off or a £5 voucher off, then it's not quite as bad. But I wouldn't buy it at full price. I would wait until there's some kind of deal on and buy it. But I do love it, and it does stay well as far as I can remember. You know, like I said, I haven't tested it out on a full day. It's not something I've particularly noticed, but it feels really lightweight, this one. And there's a bigger colour range, I think, than the Kiko. Didn't give you the colour, did I? Let me put the Cool Vanilla on here and see how we get on. Do you know, I can just see from that colour it's perfect because it's nice and neutral. That's the exact colour that I like. I love the colour of No7 foundations. Where is it? There it is. That is Cool Vanilla. I just love how neutral, or is it cool? But it's neutral, definitely. It's not orangey at all. You know, that's what I love about the No7 foundations. I've always really enjoyed their colours. It'd be interesting to see what they all look like when they're dry. Okay, on to the higher end ones. And the first one you're probably not surprised at is the KVD True Portrait foundation. I love this. Every time I use this, I think it looks beautiful. I do think it lasts well. It's a very liquidy one. Let's see if it will come out okay. Yeah. This one is light 018. I've got light 018 and light 012. That's it there. Funny how these foundations are all different colours. There's a huge range of colours in this, which is great. So I think if you struggle to find colours, this one is great because there's light, there's everything on the scale, you know, and they're quite good to look at. Like you can figure out, you know, it will show you pictures of which kind of skin tones are suited to yours and which kind of hair colour. So I think this is a good one if you are struggling to know which colour to get in a foundation. But this is pretty expensive, and so I bought the 2 colours in this because I do love it, but kind of left them and didn't use this one for a while because I was kind of, I suppose, saving it for best, if you like, because of it being so expensive. But then when I went to use it, the end here was all clogged up, and I didn't realise that, and I sort of pressed it a bit too hard and it sort of exploded. So because of that, I'm trying to use it a little bit more often, which isn't really, this isn't one that I would use every day, not something this expensive. It's just not. But it is a really beautiful foundation. It's definitely one that's lovely. I don't know whether I'll repurchase it or not. I'm kind of unsure about what to do about this because I love the packaging. I absolutely love how lightweight it is. I love that it's how it looks. You know, I think it looks really pretty. But like I said, with that getting, I suppose now I know I could just use a needle and kind of unclog it if I'm going to save it for best. But I do love this, really love it. The next 2 are both new favourites, if you like, or discovered this year. The first one is this. This is the KVD Good Apple foundation, and this is in light 012. So let's put it next to, running out of room here, next to the other KVD one. That's light 012, that's light 018. So I've got this on today, and this is the first cream foundation that I've ever liked. Every other cream foundation I've used has kind of separated on my skin and not looked great within a couple of hours. This one, I had watched Angie from Hot and Flash's review of it, and one of the things she was saying is she couldn't believe how long it had lasted. So because of that, when I first used it, I was curiously looking in the mirror to see, and it does last very, very well. I'm really surprised with it being a cream. I've only ever found that really thin liquid foundations are the ones that stay the best, you know, that stay matte and you don't get oil breakthrough and they don't separate and look kind of cakey. In fact, I remember the first one that I loved. If you've been here for a while, you may remember it was by YSL, I'm sure. It was something ink, and it had a doe foot, but it was so thin and I loved it. It was just the first kind of really thin foundation that I had found. But that was another one of those where I bought like 2 or 3 colours and then I went off it, because I'm going to talk about another one that's like that. But yeah, really enjoying this, and I feel like this is really easy and fast to apply, because you don't need to, I don't put it all over my face and then blend in. I use my beauty blender, put it in, and then sort of do this bit and then do my nose and then do this, you know, it's almost like you're putting concealer on, and I've just been finding that more enjoyable than trying to put it all over and then trying to blend it in. I don't know if that makes sense at all. And I'm surprised this hasn't dried out with, you know, you're constantly opening this up, but I'm really enjoying this at the moment. I think if I was going away at the moment, I'd probably take this foundation with me. And then the final favourite is the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better Foundation Plus Skincare. Improves bare skin in 2 weeks. Medium coverage, natural radiant finish. This, I know you guys wanted me to review this. Honestly, I don't even know what the skincare is in here, because to me, skincare is skincare and foundations are foundations. So that's not why I bought it, because skincare soaks into your skin. Foundation sits on top of your skin. So I'm not sure. I'd prefer to know what's not in the foundation. You know, like I said, I'd prefer if it didn't have fragrance and if the things in it were not irritating to skin, but it's sitting on top of my skincare. So I'm not particularly looking for it to be a skincare. I don't think I've got room at the end there for a swatch. I'm going to put it on here. And I've actually got 2 colours in this, because this is my favourite one, 20.5. I had initially bought 22. I think I did, I bought 22, and you can see this one is a lot lighter than everything else, because it was another one that I thought I really liked this as a sort of lightweight, possibly everyday foundation. It is still expensive though, but I generally like to have 2 colours of most of my foundations. This one is very much like the KVD True Portrait foundation, but just in, you know, different packaging. This one's in obviously a glass jar. I think I do prefer the pump, because it's not going to clog up like that one does, and it does feel very, very similar. There's a lot of good choices of colours in this one, so it's great from that perspective. It's, yeah, I would agree with the natural radiant finish. It's not completely matte at all, but it's not luminous. I don't like luminous finish foundations, but it is a sort of natural looking foundation, and I'd still say it's medium coverage, which you can build up. As to how long it lasts, it's not something I've noticed one way or the other. I haven't noticed it, you know, not lasting or breaking up or anything like that. But neither have I looked in the mirror and gone, oh, wow, my foundation looks great. You know, I enjoy using this. And it's one that I have used it quite a lot, because it feels easy to use, I think. It's one that, maybe that's what they mean by the skincare. I don't know. I should have looked into it really, but it almost feels like you're putting on a moisturiser, because it seems to blend very, very easily. You know, I will dab this on and blend it and go, oh, that's it blended already. You know, it's not a thick foundation. It's a very thin foundation that I like. And yeah, it just seems to be easy to work with, and it's a nice finish. So I do love that one as well. So I have a couple. The colours are so different, aren't they? That's so funny. So funny. and I'll make sure I don't get this all over me, hopefully. So I had a look at what other foundations I had left to see, well, what do I think about these foundations and why am I keeping them? And I've got one kind of question mark and one that I don't think I'm going to use, and I think I'll probably get rid of, and it's this one. This is the No7 Match Made Custom Blend Foundation Drops. This is in Calico. You know, like I said, this is my favourite colour. I've tried every No7 foundation, and I loved this for a while, and I didn't even use it in with anything, you know, and I think that that's my only issue with it, that it's too full coverage, because you're not supposed to use it the way that I use it, which is neat. I've tried it mixing it with moisturiser, mixing it with primer. It just, to me, it doesn't look right when I do that. So this one, I think I'm just going to chuck this, to be honest. There's not that much left, probably a half a bottle. I think I maybe kept this actually, thinking that with it being a pigment, if I got a foundation that wasn't the right colour, I could maybe use this to lighten it up. But I don't think it would work, because it's not, you'd need one that was really, really white or really, really dark, you know, otherwise you'd need to use too much. So I think that one's just going to go in the bin. This one is the Laura Mercier Silk Cream foundation. You may have heard me mention this a few times, because I used to wear this a lot in videos. This is the one in 3C June. This is really dark, and this is one that I can only wear when I've just done my foundation. When I've just done my fake tan. So that's the colour there. I do really like this foundation, but I don't love the colour. I think even there, it already looks a bit orangey, and I think when it dries, it looks a bit orangey on me. I noticed that with, like, if ever I needed to blow my nose or wipe my nose or wipe something, you could immediately see how different my skin was underneath. You know, if I was using a tissue on my nose, it would take the foundation off and my nose would look completely different. It just would look a very, very different colour. And I feel like as well, as time went on, it looked very different. You know, as the day went on, it didn't last particularly well colour-wise. I don't know if I'm even making sense, but I bought another colour in it. You know, I went to the counter. The first one, this one I bought online because it was on sale, and it was a good on sale. You know, like say this was 30, normally it was on sale for say £15, something like that. Loved it, so I went and bought another colour, which is just too light for me. So for me, the problem with this is more the colour range. If there was a colour in it, I think it would be one of my favourite foundations. So if you can find the right colour, great. So it's the Silk Cream Oil-Free Photo Edition Foundation. And I do like it, but like I said, I struggle with the colours, so I'm not going to repurchase this colour. Certainly, I haven't used it for a long, long time because it's just too orangey to me. The Bare Minerals Bare Pro Liquid Foundation. This is one of those that I bought at least 3, possibly even 4, because the colours are very, very similar. I'll have to put it on my other hand now. And I really like the colours in this. You can see that that's actually quite light. This one is Cashmere 06. This is a bit of a thicker liquid foundation. It is still a liquid foundation, but it's quite thick and it's quite good coverage. I honestly don't know why I stopped loving this. This was my, oh my God, I'm going to use this till I die kind of foundation. And actually I've probably used about half of this bottle. But I then, this last year and a bit, started using it and just was like, no, I don't love it as much. It doesn't seem to sit as well on my skin. And I have a feeling that that's because of my skin getting drier. And so I think that this one is one that was better when I had oilier skin. And I think it's not so great for drier skin. It doesn't make my skin feel tight or anything. It just doesn't seem to sit as well on my skin. I don't seem to get that as nice a finish, but there is lots of colours in here, and you know, I have no major issues with it. It's just I've got a lot to use up, and every time I use it and try and use it up, I'm like, yeah, I don't love it, so it's not a repurchase for me. And then finally I have one that is a question mark, and it's this one, and it's the Flower Beauty Light Illusion. Let me see if I might as well do this on my wrist. It probably would have been easier to see on my wrist in the first place. This one is in, what is the colour? Ivory L2. So that's it there. There. So you can see how orangey that Laura Mercier one is compared to everything else, can't you? Especially compared to this. And this one I simply haven't used enough to make a decision. I think I like it. You know, the couple of times I've used it, I like how it goes on. I like how it sets. It doesn't seem to be a luminous type finish, because somebody did say to me, is it luminous? It actually says on it, luminous makeup, nude skin feel. I can't say that it's got a nude skin feel to it, in that it's not a lightweight makeup. I would say light coverage is what makes it something feel like nude skin. This does feel like I'm wearing makeup, and I don't feel that it's luminous, but I do like it. So I need to use it a little bit more, and then if I do end up loving it, I'll talk about it in a favourites. If I end up just using it up, then it will probably be in an empties and fails, something like that. But yeah, it's a question mark at the moment, but so far so good. I thought I'd bring over my foundation storage and see if there was any more in here. So this is my foundation storage. This is from the range, this little box, and see if there's any foundations I haven't spoken about. But these are all ones I've spoken about, but they are the other colours. So there's my other, oh wow, look at that. My other Kat Von D True Portrait. Look at that. Can you see the water in that? How that's separated, how bizarre. Wow, that's nuts. So I'd need to give that a good shake before using it. So it's the other colour in that one, the other colour in my Bare Minerals, another colour in the Garnier BB Cream, so that's the medium one, another colour, another two colours in the Hydraluminous, another colour in the Laura Mercier that I spoke about, another Bare Minerals colour. So they're all just, and the other It Cosmetics one. The final one that's in here is my Lancome Teint Idol Ultra in 010. This is a foundation that I love, but it is very perfumed. It is full coverage, and it's one that I rarely use because I don't use it that much on camera, because obviously I don't want to promote Lancome without them being cruelty free. But I tend to wear this one when I go to see my friend, just because I know that the colour seems to always work, whatever stage I'm at in my self-tanner. It's not too dark, but it's not too light, you know. Doesn't make me look too ghostly, doesn't make me look a strange colour if I haven't tanned or whatever. And it lasts well, but like I said, they're not cruelty free, so it's not one that I generally promote or buy. I don't just not promote it. I haven't, that one I bought years and years ago before going cruelty free, and I think I only use it when I see my friend, because I know that I'm not going to buy another one, you know. I mean, imagine if I've got a feeling that at some point everything will become cruelty free, and I'll need to remortgage the house in order to go and buy lots of new makeup. And I'm hoping it just happens brand by brand, as it is at the moment. Like Garnier did it, now Tresemme are doing it, and I'm hoping that, like, you know, Maybelline or something like that do it, and I can go and have a look at their makeup, because I don't even look at them anymore, you know. That's everything for foundation. So that's my favourites and fails, I guess you could say. Favourites, fails and question marks in foundations. I hope that was enjoyable, and even though I didn't give you every single detail, like I said, I will put details of the price of the foundation on the screen, and maybe the ingredients. I'll maybe ask on Instagram or something to see if that's something that would be useful to you. Yeah, that's everything. I will list all of my makeup in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I will speak to you again soon.